legislation, if you're not really about, empowerment, if you're more along the lines of trying to disenfranchise a certain amount of people, there's different commercials, there's different, stories. So I think that's what's happening in the urban environment. But it's all good because we're in an information age and the information spreading.
And what kind of reception have you gotten from people? Because I mean, this is like what I was talking about in the newsroom. It's like there are people who live in certain places where they will only feel safe if they have a gun, but they don't know how to necessarily make that gun legal. Is that the mission, to help people understand their rights and get things legal?
Yeah, that's part of the mission. It's also the mission to inform them after they know the rights to what are the laws of their locality. What is the information that they need to have to be safe, responsible, legal gun owners. That's the overall goal, as well as conflict resolution, de-escalation techniques, cultural and philosophical understanding of the Second Amendment and how it pertains to urban environment.
So what do you see this doing to a community that may have an issue with illegal guns or violence? What do you see this movement doing?
What this movement is going to do for areas that have high crime, in relation to guns especially, is going to inform them, empower them, and cut down on that crime. That's the ultimate goal.
And I was thinking, there was a story I did not too long ago, a couple armed robberies, and I was thinking, I'm like, man, if someone else in there had a gun and took that person out, everyone would think bravo, but if that gun was not legal, they would go to prison, right?
Well, they would go to prison, but at the same time, some people's lives would be saved. You know what I mean? And we got to, for me and for in the urban environment, I deal with death a lot. So that's the thing that we're trying to cut down on. And a lot of times if those people were informed, they wouldn't even have an illegal firearm in the first place. So that's our overall goal. We can get right to the root of that problem and fix it.
Why do you think some people have illegal guns? I mean, the process, I don't own a gun. I mean, do you think the process is too challenging for some people to have them, or do they just not understand it?
I don't think it's challenging. I think people have illegal guns because they're missing the information. That's the reason why our classes are super packed, because people want the information. The general public wants to do it the proper way. And we're just creating a conduit for them to get to the information, and they're following through tremendously.
Have you, in this, I feel like this almost bridges a political divide in a way, because it's bringing together kind of one side of, hey, we want to make communities safer, and the other side saying you have a right that's built into our Constitution that you're like, so politics-wise, I mean, how have you seen this been received?
Well, politically, when you empower a group of people that have been left out of the conversation, it's extremely important and politically, to get them politically active. So it's excellent in that regard, because not only are we talking about, firearm safety and firearm anatomy, we're talking about getting politically active. Who's your local representative that may be infringing on your right? Or you letting them know that, hey, we've been left out of the conversation and we don't want to be left out anymore. And we are your constituency that you should adhere to what we're saying. So that's definitely a political move. Maybe a secondary political move, because the first thing is education, but it definitely can have, far-reaching political standing.
You're really good at this. You're good at the conversation, so I understand why you're so good at starting a conversation. What about something like, do you feel in a way, when I was learning about this, I was like, well, this feels to me almost like an urban NRA or something in a way.
Well, some people say that, an urban NRA, just because, we deal with things that the NRA may not, in their basic pistol class. We deal with, cultural, social, and philosophical areas of the Second Amendment. For so long, we've left that conversation out, and you cannot deny that there's like you said, an educational, political divide and cultural divide. So we get that comparison, but the NRAs, they're the big dogs. Yeah.
And my final question for you is, the long-term belief has been that gun control is what controls safety and makes things safer. I know that's probably not the message of this group.
No, because gun control isn't working. Legislation, you're just hamstringing the people that could defend themselves from the bad guys or bad girls. That's all you're doing. If gun control actually worked as it is presently, minus the education component, Chicago would be the safest place on earth, and it's not.
I have one more for you. I mean, do you think that people in sections of Philadelphia need guns to feel safe? Do you think that is the case?
Some people may feel as though they need a firearm to feel safe, but even bigger than that, they have a right to, and even exercise, do they want to or do they not want to. But in order to make that decision, you have to have good information to evaluate it properly. So that's where our lane is. If you choose, once you're informed properly, not with misinformation, with actual good, legit information, if you choose to not participate in shooting sports and firearms, that's great. That's your right to do so. But before you can make that assessment, you have to have the information, and that's where Black Guns Matter comes in.
That's so cool. cool. Well said. Well said. That you have the right to. That's the bottom line.
Right.
Very cool. Thank you so much for doing this.